All right, so we're finishing up our series on budget knives, budget Chinese made knives. We've already reviewed 6 knives so far. We've got the Sativian ST102 here that we reviewed. Good all around knife, budget knife. Didn't really have anything bad to say about that one. Had the Civivi Backlash, which is one that I have carried for months now in my pocket. I actually did just the other day break this thing down and clean it because it had developed kind of a squeak and some drag in the opening. But I mean, that's after almost a full year of carrying it in my pocket. So that's just normal maintenance. The Civivi Praxis, one of my favorite knives just from pure aesthetic standpoint. Love the way this knife looks. Also, just like any Civivi, super smooth to open. Just love the way that thing feels in the hand. Got this other Civivi, the ST226. My newest knife out of this collection. Love the way this thing feels in the hand. Opens super smooth. Nice looking knife. And for the price, hard to beat. Had this Sanrenmu, which only knife out of this whole group that I did not recommend even for the price. I'm just not a fan of this knife. You know, your mileage may vary. Then we had this Ned Foss knife, which is just a massive knife. I don't really have necessarily anything negative to say about it. It's just such a big, heavy knife that it's kind of hard to see any practical use for it. But if you're looking for a big, heavy knife, it's not a bad option. So that brings us then to the last knife that I wanted to review here. I said that I was going to kind of end this series. These are all Chinese steel knives, and I had said I plan on ending the series with a kind of an American-made budget option for you. And I have to issue a little bit of a retraction on that because as I pulled out this knife, which I've had for years, used for years, I have really nothing but good things to say about this knife. As I was looking it over, just getting ready to do the review for this, I realized while the company is an American-made company and they do make a large majority of their knives, specifically all their fixed blade knives, in the United States out of their New York manufacturing plant, it seems like a lot of their folding knives are actually made in Taiwan, which this blade is. So I kind of have to issue a correction. You would be buying from an American company, not a Chinese company, but it is not actually manufactured in the United States, not this specific model. So what are we looking at? What am I talking about? Probably one of the best overall budget knives I think that you can get for the money, especially, like I said, it is an American-made company, we'll say that. You're going to see this is not a new knife by any means. This is my work knife. This is a knife, if I know I'm going to go out and be using a knife hard, and I'm really going to be beating it up, possibly even using it in a way that you really shouldn't use a knife, this is the knife that I take and have for years. This is the Ontario Rat 1. So basically, if you were to look online at any forum asking for what is one of the best budget option knives, EDC knives you can have, I don't think there's any respectable list out there that doesn't have the Ontario Rat 1 at least in the top 3. This is just such a great knife for the money. And really, this knife's been around for a while now. It was here before all these budget Chinese knife brands started making it big, like your Civivis and other things. Just a really great knife in the price point. Now, it does have some, I would say, cons compared to some of these other knives, and we'll go over that. This is going to be my full-length review. I will also put up a 2-minute review for those of you who don't want to sit through all the details a little bit later. So you're going to see, like I said, this is not a nice new shiny knife. But considering the abuse that I have put this knife through, it is still in great shape. You're going to see some marks on the blade and things like that. You can obviously see wear on the pocket clip here. But overall, considering this thing has been out in heavy use for probably the better part of close to 10 years, maybe. I'm just guessing. I don't remember exactly how long I've had this thing. Honestly, I'd have to go back and even look how long has the Rat 1 series been in existence, but I feel like I've had this thing for a long time, and I've definitely used it for a long time. So let's just jump right into some of the details of the knife for those of you who might be wondering. This knife is a fairly large knife for an EDC by most people's standards. I like a larger knife, so I don't really see this as a problem. Again, I have pretty large hands. So the bigger knives just feel better in my hands. So I do like a larger blade. This is a 3.5 inch blade. Um, and the overall length of this knife is 8.5 inches. So again, it's fairly large for a EDC for most people, but I find that that extra real estate really gives you some options that you don't have with a smaller knife, especially for like a work knife, which is what I use this for. There's all kinds of scenarios you come into. Sometimes a smaller blade is better, but I find oftentimes I need that larger blade. Gives you more leverage and more options, depending on what you're doing. So that's kind of the length of the knife, the length of the blade. The blade itself is made out of Ontario's AUS 8 or AUS 8 steel. AUS 8 steel is a steel that I have actually had a lot of good luck with. In my personal opinion, it may be one of the best mid-grade budget steels out there. Um, Cold steel, I know I don't have any cold steel in this series, mostly because they're a little bit higher in price range, I think, than some of these knives. But their AUS 8 going back to like the 90s, early 2000s, whatever, some of the best budget steel that I think you can find. They had a great heat treat on it. And I gotta say, I've had some that isn't as good, but Ontario, I think, does a great job on theirs as well. So the nice thing about the AUS 8 steel, so it's a good enough steel that you can utilize it, work with it pretty hard, and it'll hold an edge fairly well. It's not going to hold an edge like some of these super steels that are out there. It's not going to hold an edge like even your S30V or anything like that. But it does hold it pretty well. And then the nice thing about it is it's very easy to bring back up to just razor sharpness. AUS 8 is an easy steel to sharpen, and considering how easy it is to sharpen, it actually holds that edge pretty well. So I got to say, first of all, I think it's a good choice in a budget knife for the steel that's in this blade. The one thing that I'm not as big of a fan on with the Rat 1 is actually the handle scale material. This is a nylon material, and I mean, just to be bluntly honest, it feels like cheap plastic. That's kind of how this feels. They have a little bit of texturing on it, but because of how plasticky it is, you don't really get a lot of grip on that. A lot of these other knives that I've shown you, like the Sativians and the Civivis, they have G10. In my opinion, that would be a huge upgrade on this knife, is to have the G10 handle scales. But it functions well. I mean, obviously, I've had this knife and abused it for a long time, and you don't really see any problems with this handle. There's no real wear on it. Clearly, it works. So, other than just the kind of cheaper feeling of it, I can't say much else about that. I do wish it was G10. So, of course, it is a liner lock, and you can see the engagement on that is some of the better engagement you're going to see on a liner lock. And this is an old knife, well worn, and it still goes right into the center of the blade. So it holds that for a liner lock. That is a really good engagement. The other thing that you're going to notice if you buy one of these things brand new, this is not ball bearing in here. It's just washers, but it flies open. And again, this knife is super old. It's actually got grit and everything else in there that I've had to clean out a couple times. So it's nowhere near as smooth as when I first got it, and it's still a very smooth knife. When you first get this thing and you fling that thing out open, you're going to think there's no way that that's not on a ball bearing pivot there, but it's not. They just do a really good job of having such a smooth opening just using washers on that. So you're going to love the way it opens. It feels good in the hand. It's not, in my opinion, the nicest looking knife as far as shape of the blade, shape of the handle. It is very plain, but again, functionality wise, I have no complaints there. This thing has held up just great. It's great for what I use it for, so I don't have any real complaints on that. One of the nice things about this knife for a budget option that you almost never see, and I don't think any of my other knives that I've shown you in this series has this, is this clip is fully reversible 4-way. So you can do tip up, tip down, left or right. You can see here that it's got the holes drilled in all 4 points of the knife where you could attach that belt clip. So for those of you who maybe like to carry in a fashion that a lot of knives don't give you that option, this thing gives you every option available. So that is a really nice feature in a budget knife like this. So you've got the 4-way reversible belt clip. You've got nylon handles. You do have a lanyard hole here in case that is something that you really enjoy, is having that lanyard hole. I don't know that I can get it well on camera, but there it is. There's that lanyard hole right there. Again, I don't ever use lanyards, but some people like them. So you do have that option on it. It's a liner lock, Aus 8 steel blade, um, dual thumb stud. So you've got the thumb stud on either side for left or right-handed opening. If you're a lefty, this knife will work for you well. It's just overall, this is a great budget option. I would easily put it up against any of the other knives that we've looked at, including, the Civivis, the Sativians, the Ned Foss, all those knives. And I would say, as far as how well it would hold up, this knife I think is going to hold up better than any of those knives from my personal experience. Um, Ontario just does a really good job with that Aus 8 steel, the heat treat that they put on that. Again, it is still a budget steel. I don't want you thinking it's some kind of a super steel. You're going to have to sharpen it quite often, but it's easy to sharpen and it holds the edge a lot longer than you would think necessarily it would at this price point. So what does this thing run for? Well, that's where it gets a little bit tricky right now. Because the Rat 1 has so many options with different handle scales or black blades and things like that, and depending on when you look at it and when you can find it on sale, it ranges. I've seen it as low as $25, recently, as low as $25, and then it goes all the way up to about 40 or so. So it kind of depends, but I would say roughly middle of the pack, you are looking at roughly a $30 knife. Which honestly, every knife that I've shown you is fairly close to that same price point. So if you're somebody who wants to at least support an American-based company based out of New York, Ontario, the Rat 1 is a great option. If you don't want one that's quite this big, they also make a Rat 2, which is basically the same knife, just a little smaller. So I would say, is this a great option? Absolutely. In fact, you can see it's the one that I use. If I'm going to be out and I'm just using a knife hard, and I don't want to use one of my super nice knives with the super steels in them and cost, 3 or 4 times what this one costs, this is the knife I go to. You can see it's been well used, and I've got nothing but good things to say about it. When my brother asked what was a good starter knife for his daughter when she got to the age to get her first pocket knife, this was the knife I recommended. So I've recommended it to family, and I recommend it to anybody who's looking for a great budget option for a first knife. Ontario Rat 1. You can't go wrong with it.